Welcome to the Press Box, your number one total sports platform. I'm your host, C. Will. I want to give a big shout out to all my viewers that tuned in to the last podcast that we posted yesterday. And today we're going to talk a little NFL football and the Dallas Cowboys and the beatdown that they took last night versus the San Francisco 49ers by the score of 42-10. But before we dive into the Cowboys and the NFL, don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like our NFL and Cowboy content. And if you do like our content, go ahead and subscribe to the Press Box 247 here on YouTube. Okay, so we'll start off talking about what happened last night. Let's dive right into it. The Dallas Cowboys came into last night's game that was hyped up to be, a heavyweight fight of two potential Super Bowl contenders. And it did not go as planned. It was a one-sided affair, and it wasn't even worth putting on TV. The San Francisco 49ers flexed all their muscle by dominating the Dallas Cowboys in all three phases of the game. The defense dominated. The 49ers offense dominated. They're showing why I believe they are the best team in football. I know some would say Philadelphia, since Philadelphia did get to the Super Bowl and did defeat San Francisco last year in the NFC Conference Championship game, which is, I understand why people would say the Eagles, because, you should say that, but just looking, at the statement that San Francisco made last night, like I said, it's not the fact that they're undefeated, and it's not the fact that they defeated the Cowboys. I think that this game wasn't even about the Cowboys, and I'll get into that here in a minute. This game was all about the San Francisco 49ers and how great they are, how great Brock Purdy is. I can't believe my eyes. I don't know if I've seen a guy develop so fast to be at the top of the NFL only in his second year, the last pick of the draft. And look at what he's doing today. It's amazing. He seemed to be the veteran last night, and Dak Prescott looked like the second-year quarterback, and we'll get into that here in a minute once we break down the actual game stats and, big plays and all that. But San Francisco found it. They found it a gem, a jewel in Purdy. I didn't understand why they traded Lance, but now I do. The way that he was just picking apart this vaunted Dallas Cowboy defense. We're second in the league in sacks. It made Michael Parsons just look like a regular person. I'm not surprised that I'm a Cowboy fan, yes. I'm not surprised that we lost the game because, they got our number anyway. The last two postseasons, we lost close games. But last night wasn't close. It shows that you can still be bad despite having close games, even though those games in the playoffs was much closer in score, but 49ers still were the dominant team. And I have some notes here. in their last three meetings in 2022 and playoffs, divisional game that was in Dallas. The 49ers won 23-17. They had 341 yards of offense to Dallas's 307. So that game was close in terms of offensive production. The 49ers only passed for 172 yards that year. We passed for 230. So we passed more than they did, but they ran the ball better at 169 to our 77. Dak Prescott went 23 for 43 for 234 yards, a touchdown and an interception. So he wasn't great then either. And last year, or this past season, in January, we played them again in San Francisco, or should I say Santa Clara. 19-12 was that score. 49ers had 312 yards of offense to the Cowboys 282. And they passed for 199 to the Cowboys 206. But they ran for 113 yards to the Cowboys 76. And Dak Prescott in that game went 23 for 37 for 206 yards, one touchdown, and two interceptions. And last night, of course, 42-10 was the score. On the 49ers, a whopping 421 yards of offense to the Dallas Cowboys, 197 yards of offense. That's unbelievable, especially considering that the Cowboys were averaging about 31 points per game before this game and just demolishing everybody. That's why they always say nothing is ever as great as it seems, and nothing is ever as bad as it seems. That's a good thing to live by. That way, that'll help us not become prisoners of the moment, reacting off of what we see, off emotions, and, everything is not as bad or great as it seems. So we have to use context with that. Okay, the 49ers passed for 251 yards to the Cowboys 140 yards. Wow. Cowboys had 4 sacks against them. The 49ers ran for 170 yards of offense to the Cowboys 57 yards of offense. So, and Dak, of course, went 14 out of 24 last night for a measly 153 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. So to put Dak Prescott into context, Dak Prescott has thrown in the last 3 games against San Francisco 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And I'm not even going to go into the completions versus the attempts and all that, but 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So that gives me context, so I see why they can't beat the 49ers, and it's because of him. He's the common denominator. It's not that he's all that great anyway, but there's something about the San Francisco defense that gives him issues, and that's alarming to the Cowboys because, you got to go through San Francisco. They're making that clear. So all the Super Bowl chatter, it'd be great if they can get there, but 49ers, it's going to be a tough out. Now the Eagles, the Cowboys play the Eagles much better. They're divisional rivals. So Cowboys and the Eagles, that's more. We have a chance to beat the Eagles, but right now there's no chance of us even being on that level with the 49ers. So to put those last 3 meetings into a context, Brock Purdy in his second year shredded the Cowboys defense. Last year he didn't so much, but You can tell the guy has gotten better. The 49ers offense is better. At first, in those previous matchups against the Cowboys, the yardage was pretty much the same. But this year, their offense is on a whole nother level, and they put the whole NFL on notice. So we're going to look at some highlights of the 49ers in the Cowboys game from last night. A moment here.
On a roll to start this season. Down about 9 as the Cowboys converge. It comes with a little bit of a caveat. First and 10. And Purdy to the air again. And Ayuk one more time in space. At the 33-yard
Really missing Trayvon
line.
Diggs.
And a terrific opening drive for the 49ers.
Nobody's
so again,
got that
second and
shutdown
short.
corner out there.
Second and 1. McCaffrey.
Look at how they just find holes.
Patient.
85 yards.
First down. Patient and physical. From the 19, 5 in the pattern for
Steps up in the pass
escapes and fires end zone. Touchdown.
Finds the receiver cutting across the back of the zone for a touchdown.
Best defense in the league last year in points and yards allowed. Great start this year. On third down, they get to Prescott, and it's Nick Bosa.
Bosa is a beast. So I got to get rid of these doggone ads, but we'll wait a second and we'll be right back.
My inspiration is just flowing and coming.
Okay, here we go.
With just his second sack of the year, he's been getting close. Finally breaks through. After the loss of 2,
look at all those white shirts.
Turning the corner and getting
physical than us, and they
yard and a half shy of the first down.
More bigger plays and more explosive.
Good against good.
Nobody's even over there.
Harvard in the house. First down,
they just
31-yard line.
like
Gain enough.
Kyle Shanahan is great coordinator.
Parsons was in there,
and a few times that we were able to
right away
into the backfield.
And some missing pieces in the offensive line. This is the group they want, the group they have back. And Pollard, good job by Pollard to find some space. Lost the football, was it in bounds? Or did it go out of bounds?
Tough fumble.
It is recovered on the to the left of quarterback Brock Purdy. He'll give it to McCaffrey. Good opening up the middle. Christian McCaffrey, shoulder down to the 2. The ball come out.
That was a good play by Jordan Lewis.
And now the officials are just running into this.
Got ran over and gave up such a big game.
Lorenzo is coming into.
But
what happened was that McCaffrey lands right on top
that kind of
offset Lewis, so nothing
turnover.
ever hit the ground. So as he was grabbing it out, the ball lands in his lap, and I think that is a pretty clear fumble.
It's Lamb in motion. Cowboys seeking the game's first down for Dallas. Dak.
Look at Dak off his back foot.
Pumps again, trying to get away.
In that instance, you just throw the ball away. You don't have anything.
Back-to-back big plays by
I would take
Warner. End series for the Cowboys.
Throwing the ball away, then they
lost
get the
control
sack
of
on
the
that.
body, not him. Jumped up and made the sack.
Big play. Look at us. We all over the place. Wide open. So not only was they punching us in the mouth on the line, winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, they were able to hit plays.
Use the speed, get to the edge. Brandon Cooks popping to the outside, and that gives the Cowboys perhaps their first down. Let's check that mark. We'll see if the offense can get settled.
Cowboys are not explosive anymore.
Dak moving the pocket, the play on the right sideline to Cooks is brought in at the 45-yard line.
And Dak was actually playing well until the game got over.
Man rush, they're coming after it. Dak got rid of it. There goes Jake Ferguson for the first down. Pushed out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. Good looking throw to the second-year man out of Wisconsin. Speedy Turpin in motion, heading downfield. Dak throwing that way. Turpin!
That was a beautiful play. I actually thought my boys was coming to fight.
Speed on display. Devontae Turpin gets the Cowboys on the board. You know, he is disappointed. Fumbled earlier in this quarter. As Purdy goes to work, and it's caught by Ayuk at the 40-yard line. And a nice throw for 15. Here's Melissa.
Marvian overshown, but he ends up hurting. Everybody had to fill in behind.
Griswold pressure on screen coming to McCaffrey.
Anytime you come with that kind of pressure like that,
McCaffrey on the run. Inside the 25. And he'll take it to the 21-yard line.
Typically, when you come with that type of pressure, you get to the quarterback. But I don't know if he got a sack.
Mason's got the carry. Mason.
Look at how number 14 got pushed back by 64.
Inside the 15-yard line to the 14.
They got their linemen on the second and third levels blocking.
You're really making all of this by hand.
Right
oh, yeah. The avocados are hand mashed.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. But I'm actually fine with it. Excuse me. I'm actually fine with that. I really didn't expect for Dallas to win the game, considering that, anytime you play a team that you know that is going to be there and you've lost to them in the past, until you do something significant in the near future, that history is going to be stuck in your mind. And I think that right now, the 49ers just got the Cowboys number. Cowboys was looking decent, but they wasn't really playing anybody. So nothing happened before last night's game to change what we already knew, that 49ers got the Cowboys number. And that's what last night showed. That doesn't mean that they're not going to have a great season, or a good season, I should say. And maybe if they can have a great season, somebody can upset 49ers, because I don't think they're built to do that. That's not going to happen. I think that this game is showed, that the Cowboys are a level down, maybe a couple of levels down from the 49ers. So I want us to look at a little bit of Dak Prescott's interview.
So Four-Star Telegram, there was so much put into this game, but measuring up, revenge, how demoralizing to have a performance like that?
Yeah, I guess that's a good word in a sense. Didn't see it coming, as you said, put everything into this and got punched in the mouth. Called a couple of weeks ago humbling against Arizona, but this may be the most humbling game I've ever been a part of. Felt good about the preparation, felt good about everything, honestly, coming into this game, matchups, and they beat us in every aspect.
What was it
definitely
like to,
beat them in every aspect.
Just whatever was called, just you feel like you had chances to get stuff out there, or do you feel like you had opportunities to make plays and just didn't?
I mean, I've obviously got to look at it, but had the one drive, and other than that, yeah, I mean, didn't get anything going really. Is just the initial thought of what I can think of, whether it be the run game, action, whatever. We didn't get any momentum ever, other than that one drive, and it was only success of the night.
Michael Galvin, Dallas Morning News. It might be too early to think about it in this sense, but you guys obviously know that to get to where you want to be as a team, you have to go through this 49ers team probably. How do you close this gap that seems to very clearly exist?
You don't know.
Yeah, over these, I mean, what's left? The rest of the season. I mean, obviously they're further ahead than us right now. Yeah, so we've got to close that gap and be ready, as you said, to get to where we want to get. We know we're going to have to go through this team and most likely come back through this place.
Sides with the Athletic. Dak, Micah said that he doesn't feel like you guys are too far off. There was a lot of self-inflicted errors. How much of that do you feel? How much of today do you feel was you guys, and then how much was the 49ers as well? Yeah,
I mean, you got to give them credit. A team like that, powerful offense, discipline on defense, and then when you start out 2 3-and-out drives and a turnover on the first 3 possessions, and just give them opportunity after opportunities.
Dak always sounds
it's always
like
going to be tough.
answers.
And
it's weird.
I guess to answer
I've never seen
to speak on what Mike is saying is, yeah, there's a lot of self-inflicted things, but we can't do that in a game like this against a team like this. So that's part of being far off, and that's part of closing the gap. And Getting
you
better.
get him out there on the field, he doesn't look like how he sounds. But he sounds like he has the answer. Always have.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we've established a rhythm, that's kind of been, I don't want to say obvious, but something to lean on with our tempo, changing up the personnel, putting pressure on the other team. But it starts with getting one first down. And as I said, when you go 3 and out in the first 2 drives and then a turnover, it's tough. It's tough to overcome. You feel like you're.
I mean, my thing is how can you guys dominate everybody else? There's no problem getting first down. You look invincible, but then the moment you play somebody that can offer some resistance, then you just unravel, turn the ball over. It really shows the Cowboys to me, and I don't have to look anymore of his interview. We've seen enough of that. But the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, their biggest problem is I wanted to stop. The Dallas Cowboys' biggest problems is they don't have the mental fortitude that it takes to be a champion. And a lot of that has to do with, obviously, the coaching staff, because the coaching staff sets the culture. So, you know, I mean, it's been a while since we've had a culture that was set, that was championship based. And I mean, McCarthy has won the Super Bowl, but I don't know if he got that type of clout on this team. I don't know if they see him the same as, maybe of how he was years ago when he got the Super Bowl. But the Cowboys aren't mentally tough. That's really what it is. I mean, you can dominate, be a bully against people you're supposed to beat, but the moment you face somebody, you can't even compete with them. So I'm not buying the hype. Just like yesterday, I didn't expect for us to win, and I knew we wasn't going to win, so it didn't hurt me as bad because the better team just won. I don't mind if my team, gets their butt kicked. I mean, it doesn't, really. It doesn't. I mean, the other team was just better. I mean, that's really, what it comes down to. Is if the other team is better, they're better. But the one thing about a good butt whooping is that it should get your attention, to where you don't have the false confidence that losing close games give you. It makes you feel like, oh, we were almost there. But if you keep losing close games, then you're not close. So maybe they can, get the lesson, that they need to get, by this butt kicking. So we're going to take a look at some scores from yesterday around the NFL before we end the podcast today. So we'll take a look at scores on this. Okay. Chicago Bears got their first win of the year against the Washington Commanders, 40-20. And that game was on the road. Good job, Bears, on that first victory. Then Jacksonville upset the Buffalo Bills over in London, 25-20. That was a big upset, especially considering what happened the week before against the Dolphins. Then the Falcons pulled out a nail-biter against the Texans, 21-19 at home, going to 3-2, and the Texans falling to 2-3. The Lions, 42-24, all over the Panthers. And the Lions go 4-1 this year. The Panthers are still winless at 0-5. The Colts were victorious against their divisional rivals, the Tennessee Titans, winning by a score of 23-16 to go 3-2 on the season. Titans dropped to 2-3. The Miami Dolphins took care of the New York Giants by a score of 31-16 to go 4-1 on the season, and the Giants drops to 1-4. And the Saints, this one was a surprise. The Saints jumps all over the New England Patriots, 34-0 on the road in Foxborough. Patriots are 1-4 now, and the Saints are 3-2. So I want to stop right here. I want to talk a little bit about the Patriots and maybe
I wish for the amazing new iPhone 15
Tom
Pro.
Brady really was.
Do you mean this one, the one with titanium? Switch to Verizon. You can trade in any iPhone and get the new iPhone 15 Pro on them.
Maybe Tom Brady really was the reason why Coach Belichick had that success, because right now he's definitely struggling to find footing without Tom Brady. Mac Jones was benched for how bad he played. It's just not a good day out in New England. You have to ask yourself, how long do you think Bill Belichick is going to coach now? Because he has no reason to have to take this much losing. There's no reason why he would want to. So keep your eye on that. The Steelers victorious over the Ravens in a divisional game where they came from behind in the second half and absolutely shut out the Baltimore Ravens, winning 17-10. Both teams are 3-2 in a tight AFC Central division. Then the Eagles was victorious over the Rams. The Eagles are 5-0 with a big 23-14 win against the Rams. Jalen Hurts went for 303 yards passing, and he ran for 72 yards with that. The Bengals got back on track against the Cardinals by a score of 34-20. They was able to defeat the Cardinals to go 2-3 on the season. The Cardinals drops to 1-4. The Jets was victorious against the Broncos. Somebody had to win this game. You got two kind of bad teams that's hard to look at, but the Jets were victorious in that game. And they're 2-3, and the Broncos with Sean Payton dropped to 1-4. In the other game, besides the Cowboys and the 49ers, the Chiefs were on the road to take on the Vikings. The Chiefs was victorious 27-20 to go 4-1 on the season. And the Vikings drops to 1-4. And of course, we know that the 49ers went to 5-0 last night with a 42-10 victory over the 3-2 Dallas Cowboys. So there you have it. And tonight we have a game with the Green Bay Packers traveling to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. So got one more game for the week, and that'll be it. So that's all I have today. To talk about some pro football and dive into the Dallas Cowboys debacle against the 49ers. If you liked our content, go ahead and give us a like again and subscribe to us at the Press Box 247. And that way you'll be able to see all the content that you like whenever we drop it. So with that being all, my name is C. Will. Until the next time, take care.